Hey, what's happening? Paul Ingram with College Center. I've been out here all day long working in the garden, and I've decided to go ahead take a little bit of a collie break, a little martial arts break. So if you want to get a little bit of training with me today, number one thing to do is hit that subscribe button if you're not subscribed to the channel yet. Give me one of these right here. I appreciate it. Leave me a cool comment below if you're a collie practitioner just like I am. And then grab your single stick or a single training bolo. That's totally cool. And let's go ahead and get some training in together. Let's do it. Today's training, I'm reviewing what's called Sumbrada. It's a Sumbrada drill, which is usually a two-person drill. And I'm going over what is known as the 5-count Sumbrada. So the 5-count Sumbrada, or also known as the standard box, in some schools and things, like we used to call it the standard Sumbrada or the standard box pattern Sumbrada. This is a counter for counter drill. So even though it's a 5 count, it's actually 10 movements because it would be shared with a partner. I don't have a training partner with me today, but I'm not gonna not train just because I don't have a partner with me today. I can still work the movements in a solo fashion of this particular drill, and I can still keep and maintain the collie skills that the drill builds. All right, so let's go ahead and slowly go through the movements. So from here, we'll go ahead and add some of the footwork as well. Now there's different variations of footwork for this particular drill depending on what school, what style that you're training in or what. So we'll just go over one of them that we teach here. So from here, we're gonna step forward and we're gonna strike our number 1. Now, this is a flow drill, so we're not gonna like necessarily go all the way through. Sumbrada drill, I wouldn't say it's a combat type of drill. It's just more of a flow drill to start developing a correspondence with another training partner, with another person. You're sharing range, you're sharing timing, you're sharing tactics. There's attacks, there's counters, right? And it's more of a conceptual drill than a principle-based drill. Now you can still apply principles, obviously, but the drill is more conceptual. But the main thing is we're learning these kind of patterns for these drills, but the real objective, the real goal is when you're doing these drills, you want to eventually break away from any patterns and freelance the drills. All right, so let's kind of restart it here. I'm gonna step forward and I'm gonna strike my number 1. From there, I'm gonna drop my right leg back and I'm gonna go into what's called a drop stick deflection. Then I'm gonna step forward and thrust, my center line thrust. I'm gonna step left, get off that line, and I'm going into what we call our umbrella. This is a number 2 umbrella. Some people call this a wing block. There's a lot of different names for it. We just use the term umbrella. Once I hit that, then I'm gonna step up forward triangle, and I'm gonna smash that vertical. You can either hit the vertical as a hack, or you can go all the way through right now. That's totally fine. Train both variations. That's the first half of the drill. Let's go ahead and cover that and review that a few times. So step forward, number 1. Right leg drops back into that drop stick deflection right here. Now you can step off the side or back up the center line on that center line thrust. Step off to the left, there's that number 2 umbrella. And then step up that forward triangle with that vertical strike. Let's take a look at the B side of the Sumbrada drill that's starting off with the counter. We're gonna step 90 degrees to the right, and we're gonna go into what's called an inside four-wall or an inside sweep or an inside deflection countering type of strike against that number 1 right there, okay? Now you're gonna notice something, that this left hand is coming in over the top on the inside of my weapon right there. Okay, don't just stand here and do it. You got to get off of the line. That's number 1. Then I'm going to step a little bit into my opponent and strike this backhand horizontal right to the midsection. From there, I'm going to step either 90 degrees to the right again or right 45 on the reverse triangle, depending on what I got timing for. And I'm going to come into this low umbrella counter right here. Some people call this a low wing. Terminology, don't get mixed up on that. All right, just learn the movements. From here, I'm going to step to the left. Now, there's choices here. I could either strike a number 2, or I can flip this up into a watique. Some styles would call that an abanico. And then I'm gonna step to the right again and go into the number 1 umbrella counter. Some people call this the Sumbrada, or the roof. Okay? Let's take a look at that again. I'm stepping to the right, inside deflection, striking that midline horizontal backhand strike. Get off the line to the right again into that low umbrella right there. I'm gonna step all the way around. I'm gonna flick it or strike a number 2, and then come back to the right and striking with that umbrella or that roof block right there. Okay? Let's take a look at part B from a few different angles. All right, we went through part A and part B of the 5-count Sumbrada, or the standard box Sumbrada drill. Remember, it's 10 movements. One partner would be doing part A, while the other person would be doing part B, and we'd be sharing the drill. Again, I don't have a training part with me. I still want to train the drill, so I'm just working it solo. Let's go ahead and put both parts together and complete the Sumbrada flow drill. All right, this is a fun one. Take your time with it. One of the great things about Kali is, look, it's always a lot of fun when you have a training partner and you can have that exchange, whether it's in the flow drills, coordination drills, or in the sparring. However, in the absence of a partner, don't allow that to stop your training. Get out there and still work on the drills, work on the information, work on the material to the best of your ability. Look, in training, it's okay to make mistakes, especially when you're starting on out. It's totally fine. This is training. This is learning. This isn't the actual fight. Okay, we don't have to get everything perfect. This is why we train every day, to make a little bit of progress every single day, so that way you make less and less and less mistakes over time as your skill is improving. I still make mistakes. I make mistakes all the time. Sometimes my mechanics, they come off a little bit. It happens. We're human. Okay? So that's why we work for perfection in our training, especially in our solo training. Don't skip your solo training. It is absolutely critical. A lot of people will argue that the partner training is more important than the solo training. I 100% disagree with those people. I think that they are both just as important as each other. And if you're not getting the time in alone with the Kali, with the system, with the material, then you're not able to really take the most benefit and get the most optimal of that time with a partner. So when you're training with a partner, that is not when you should be figuring it out. That's not when you should be figuring out the coordination or how a movement works. You should be doing that in your solo training. So when you get together with a training partner, you guys can just start working on the things that matter as far as combatively. You can work on things like the adjustments of range, the measuring of range. You can work on things like the calculations and regulations of timing, the negotiation and renegotiation of tactics, and really understanding the communication between two people who are competing or combating or fighting or sparring or whatever you want to call it in this particular martial arts style, or if you're cross training or whatever it is that you're doing. Bring the skills that you develop and the understanding that you develop in the solo training to your partner training, and then take the experience of your partner training, go back, bring that over to your solo training and reflect on it, and then continue to build the skill. All right, so it's a continuum. So don't hold one type of training over the other. It's a yin and a yang of the two. They're both needed. All right, I'll see you guys next time. Get outside, make nature your Kali dojo. It's absolutely beautiful today. That's why I'm getting all this garden work in, and I'm trying to get my training in all at the same time. I may not be able to train for 3 or 4 hours straight today, but if I can pump in a 20-30 minute session between all the other things that I've got going on today, then that's what I'm gonna do. It allows me to get a good break from all the work that I'm doing, and all the work that I'm doing allows me to get a little bit of a mental break from all the Kali that I'm doing. All right, I'll see you guys next time. Hit the subscribe button, give me one of these, a thumbs up, I appreciate it. Leave me a cool comment below, that way I can respond to you, and head on over to KaliCenter.com, and maybe we'll see you in our Kali Apex or any of our further training courses right on over there. See you next time.